Welcome to the Rock is George podcast. I'm your host, George Dionne, and this is episode 128. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit like, follow, or subscribe on the platform you're listening to us on. You can also check me out at theloudest.com on the planet, knac.com, for exclusive material you won't find on the Rock is George podcast. My guest for this episode is frontman DREW ELLIOT of the Chattanooga, Tennessee-based hard rock act Seven Stones. They have a brand new album that came out on April 21st called Hurt Turns Into Hate. They just finished the first leg of their No Safe Bet tour, and they're getting ready to head out with Texas Hippie Coalition starting May 20th. So here's DREW ELLIOT of Seven Stones to tell you more about it. If I knew absolutely nothing about Seven Stones, how would you describe the band's music to me?
Ooh, raw energy, a lot of emotion, and a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And I got to say, you guys sort of like a kitchen sink of sounds. I was listening to your latest album, Hurt Turns Into Hate. A lot of different things going on. I don't really think you could define yourself to just say straight hard rock, straight heavy metal.
No, which is good. I love not being able to like pigeonhole ourselves into one kind of thing. Like, we all love rock, we all love hard rock, we all love metal. And I think we barely touch on the metal aspect of things, but we're all inspired by a lot of metal bands, like huge fans of a lot of stuff. But I think we found a little bit of like what we want to do in a way, especially with our lineup that we've got going now. And I like having a variety. I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. Like, I think the next album that you might hear piano on it. Who the hell knows, Might add some strings, and I can't play strings for shit, but could be a piano on there or so, something, a cool ballad. Who knows?
Now, Seven Stones has been around since 2016. How did you guys all get together?
Oh man. I started writing music in college. Our original guitar player, Abraham, we had been friends since high school. We hadn't talked since high school. And we kind of met back up after I graduated. I showed him some stuff that I had because he actually was playing guitar way before I even thought about it. And he enjoyed it a lot. We hooked up with another guy from our high school days. His name's Josh. He was like, hell yeah, man. And they actually enjoyed the stuff that I wrote. And then Seven Stones was created. We picked up Rich, our now still continuing bass player. And he had no idea how to play bass, but we kind of conned him into it. We told him we'd teach him. I had no fucking clue how to play bass. Still don't. But he figured it out. And and then we've gone through a laundry list of people that have been in the band since then. But me and Rich are the mainstays. But high school is what started it all, I think, if you want to put it that way. And then the music scene in Chattanooga has kind of carried on the revolving door of members and what we have set now.
How did you come up with the band name Seven Stones?
I wish I had a better story than what actually happened. Original guitar player, Abraham, again. We were all trying to think of names, trying to have a good time. Like, this is really cool. And nothing really stuck out. And he came back the next day and he's like, dude, I had a dream. I kept hearing Seven Stones over and over again. And I remember him presenting it to, like, it was a group text or some shit. And I was like, I don't know if I like that or not. Like, I'm not a huge fan. And then it kind of grew on me and I was like, okay. Yeah. So we kind of just ran with it. I wish there was a better story than some guy had a dream, like some epiphany or some shit. And like, we kind of joke around like there's like Lord of the Rings lore to it because we're Lord of the Rings fans, but we can't make the story work for it to be a cool thing.
You got to hire a kid out of college to come up with a story, base it around Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah. Give somebody with way better writing skills.
Yeah. Seven Stones was going to be it's the lost book from the Lord of the Rings series.
Yeah. See, there you go. Hey, you're onto something, man. You're onto something, George.
I mentioned it before. Hurt turns to hate. Excuse me.
No,
Hurt turns into hate. Your latest album, Hurt Turns Into Hate. It's been out since April 21st. It's sort of a collection of singles you guys have been releasing here and there over the years, correct?
Yes, sir. It's been a 3-year long love child basing off of, like, of course, the pandemic screwed everybody up. And then, like I said, we started picking up shows afterwards. And then I think some of the members started realizing, we couldn't do this. So it was hard to get a collective beginning recording everything into one EP or album so set, because we kept flipping members so much. And we finally, I think we've solidified it now, but it took us 3 years to get, these 7 songs put out. And I'm happy they're out. I'm so happy, especially the way we get to market now and everything else. Like, and we had 2 or 3 songs that people hadn't heard, and it's happened the way it's supposed to. As much as we wanted it to be differently, it's just the way life goes. And we're proud of what we've done. We've worked really hard for a long time. Now, finally putting something out that's getting some movement. We're really, really proud of that, and exciting to see what the hell happens.
Does everybody write as a group, or do you mainly do the lyrics and everybody works on the music?
It goes back and forth. There's a lot of time, especially from the beginning. It was a lot of me writing lyrics and playing chords and figuring stuff out, then bringing it to the guys, and they make it sound really freaking cool, which happened on this album. And then there was times where, like, I had only lyrics, and then somebody else brought a guitar riff, or and then the drums pick up on it. Like, Isaiah's really good on that. There's been times where Isaiah's played a guitar riff, and I was like, dude, that sounds really good. Then all of a sudden, lyrics come, like, they're just there. So it's not like a set writing thing, but it works. I think having that difference, that's why it sounds different from song to song, because sometimes it's just me drinking alone, going through my feelings, getting some shit out. Then sometimes it's us having a great time and something clicks with all of us, and it feels right, and it feels really good. And it's working out so far. Hopefully it continues that way, because I don't want anything to be forced, man. Anything being forced, there's no emotion behind it. It's not fully pure music. If you have your mindset on, like, I want this to be a radio hit, or like, I want this to be so poppy that everybody fucking loves it, shit doesn't work out that way. I'd rather it be organically, where people can connect with you going through some things, and everybody's like, man, I've been there, I've done that. I think that's what music should be about, so everybody can relate to it.
Why don't we talk a little bit about the album's title track, Hurt Turns Into Hate, and kind of what the story is behind that song?
Well, kind of continuing off what I was just talking about, I think we've all kind of, well, maybe not everybody has gone through a horrible breakup or a relationship that was just like somebody pissing you off over and over again, and then you finally realize, like, I'm done with this shit. Where the song came from was a good friend of mine was engaged, and they were recently broken that off. And I happened to be with him that day, because I remember he was down about it. How everybody goes through a breakup. Everybody's really down and out. And she called him because she'd been telling him to come grab his stuff from his apartment over and over again. And every time he tried to, she was like, well, you can't do it now. She had somebody else over. And so I remember him getting a call one day, and she was like, hey, you don't have to come pick up your stuff. She's like, I threw it all away. And I watched his face change very quickly. He was just like down and out, and he was like, fuck, I don't even want to answer this phone call right now. And then it just like pissed right off the bat. And after he got the phone, I was like, dude, that's when the hurt turns into hate. And he kind of looked at me, and he was like, man, you're right. And then as soon as he stepped away, I was like, oh shit, here's lyrics. And I just went with it, because I've been there, so I could channel that of what I felt before and what it meant to me. And it hurts, man. Like, it really fucking sucks. But you don't really realize it until you're at the end of it. Once the hate shit starts to happen, you realize, it's like, I had to deal with that. I'm better than this shit. And I think actually what the whole album kind of displays is the same shit. You go through so much hurt that eventually you're gonna fucking change, man. You're gonna realize it, and you're gonna change your mindset. At least I hope so. A lot of people don't, but you can. Be strong, everybody. Be strong. You're better than that. Don't take those shit from nobody.
A lot of the songs here born out of the pandemic, I'm guessing, at least as far as lyrical content is concerned.
Oh, Two of them for sure. Save Today definitely was. I guess that was more of a, I guess, depends on the way you look at it. Both of them are in the positive light of what we were going through, what a lot of people were going through. Thankfully, I was still working through a lot of that because I work construction. So I wasn't stuck at home, but I was still dealing with different things at the same time, which, I mean, I'm not going to be a dick about it because a lot of people were stuck at home and they were miserable as hell. I was miserable in a different sense. I mean, traffic was not bad at all, but it was like Save the Day, for instance, was I think the first one. And it was just like, you know what, fuck tomorrow, like focus on today, focus on yourself. There's more shit out there. And then Break is in a positive light, but it was more of the political side of things, of everybody trying to divide everybody. And I was kind of tired of it, man. Being down here in the South too, with all the division shit, I was fucking over it, And so it's more of a positive song more than is negative, but it sounds like I'm very angry, which I was at the time, because I mean, yeah, fuck that, man. It's supposed to be about love, man. You're not supposed to hate everybody and push everybody away. It's supposed to be all about one. And people that think that way can go fuck themselves, basically, what Frank's about. But that came from the pandemic. So yes, you are correct.
You worked with producer Dalton Skinner for this album. Is there something in particular that he brings to the band and to these set of songs particularly?
Dalton is something else. He is a hidden gem down here, and he's in Knoxville. We don't have to travel far to go record. Sorry, I keep moving the camera. But he's a great guy, and his vision and his knowledge is phenomenal. Not to mention his recording process is just fucking gold. I can't say better things about Dalton. Like, he's that guy. He is freaking phenomenal. He's so cool, and he'll listen to you. And if you want guidance, he'll be there. He'll tell you, "It's like, hey man, that sounds like shit. Like, don't do that." And which is good, because I mean, a lot of guys going into it, especially when we first started recording, we're like, "Hey man, we really like this," and he was like, "Do you really?" I'm like, "Listen to this." And I was like, okay, I kind of get it. He's really smart with it, and God, he should actually be bigger than most a lot of people, like producing wise and recording, because his sound quality is phenomenal and his brain works in a different way. And I have nothing but praise for Dalton Skinner. We're going to keep going back to him for as long as we can until he decides to tell us to go fuck ourselves, I guess.
Is this a self-released album, or are you releasing it through Pavement Entertainment?
In a way, yes. In a way, no. they're helping. Like, originally it wasn't supposed to be, and then we kind of hooked up with Pavement, and so they've released it through them and Sony. So yes, I guess it is technically through Pavement. It's just weird because it's a business deal. We're not signed or anything, but we're doing a huge marketing thing with which we love them. They've done great so far, and we hope to continue that. Hopefully, they will sign us. Come on, Tim. Come on, Mark. We love you.
Do you have physical copies of this release, or is it just digital right now?
Not yet. We are working on that. As being an up and coming band, it's we all work day jobs, and then like every time a tour comes up, we're like, shit, are we gonna have jobs when we come home? I was like, who the hell knows? And I think that's a lot of things that people don't understand, though. But that's the fucking plan. It's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it, but we're working on getting physical copies. Like, we've got to find the right person, because the person we used to use, they were like, we don't do bad language or anything like that. And I was like, oh shit, like, okay, we got to switch what's going on right now. And so that is the only holdup. We're on the verge of getting them, actually, the physical copies done, but there will be, and they will be on sevenstonesofficial.com when they are, or at live shows. We're really close.
You just have to find the bad words pressing.
Yes, we have to. Yeah. We need to find the sinners that want to actually put our stuff on physical copies. Is all.
You thinking you may go vinyl, or is that just way out of reach because you're in the beginning right now?
I would love to, but I don't know if we are right now. It'd be cool if a company was like, "Hey, man, we're gonna like do some like 20 of these releases, and cut you a deal on it." That would be something I would love to look into for sure. But I don't think as a whole right now that we would be able to do that fully. Wow, I just burped. I'm sorry. Excuse me, everybody. That's disgusting. But yes, it would be cool to do vinyl, but at this point in time, maybe not.
Seven Stones recently completed the first leg of the No Safe Bet tour. How did that go?
It was a lot of fun, man. There was a lot of learning curves, especially because we went on the West Coast and we're in Tennessee. I don't know if everybody knows geography here, but that's not referring to you, George, at all. But we're on the East Coast. We're going way over here to the West Coast, where our name's not really known at all, which is really not known anywhere at this point in time, except where we are. But we got our feet wet. We're not green behind the ears anymore. We made a statement. We had a lot of fun. We had a little more downtime in between the first two shows and then the last six, because we were supposed to play some shows with Flaw and they weren't able to go. So like that sucks, especially being an up and coming band. And you're like, hey, we're out here and like, fuck, we got a week off. That's not cool. There's no way to make money. We're spending money because hell, we like to have fun. And we haven't been on that side of the country. So it is what it is. But a lot of learning. We made a lot of friends. Like big shout out to Incoming Days. Those guys are our friends from Washington. And Beautiful Skeletons, by the way. They're the ones we actually got some of those shows booked through. And they're both awesome people and great bands. Should be on the lookout for them as well. But they made everything a lot easier for us and made us feel at home when we were a long way from home.
Now, this isn't a question I have written down, and I interview a lot of bands throughout the week and everything like that, so I may have you confused with someone else. But when you went out to the West Coast, was it you guys that went to Vegas and then visited Area 51?
We did go to Vegas. We went to Roswell. I did not go to Area 51. Oh my God, I'm a huge, literally tomorrow I have, I'm getting the rest of my tat finished on my leg. That is a UFO that has color on it. Like I said, we had a week off when we were after our show in Texas in San Angelo. I was like, dude, let's stop off in Roswell. Let's go to Roswell. It's only like 4 hours away. Stop there for like a day or two. But I wanted to go to Area 51. Well, not get shot or anything crazy like that. But we did go to Vegas, and I questioned it a lot of going to Area 51. I'm a huge, I guess, nerd, if you will, on the whole alien stuff. And I would love all of that. Roswell was cool, by the way. Very windy though, and dry.
Have you seen an alien yourself?
I have not.
Yeah.
I've seen statues of aliens. I almost bought one, actually, while we're at Roswell, but not an actual alien. I have not been probed. I might act like it and probably look like it, but I have not. I have no actual physical experience with aliens. I feel like they exist. I know a lot of people have their own views on it. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, why not?
Exactly.
Why not? And life's crazy as hell. How can there not be something else out there?
You're jumping on a pretty big tour coming up in May with the Texas Hippie Coalition. You've played with these guys before, right?
We have not.
No?
I wish we had, I wish we had played with a lot of people for sure. But we've actually found out on the way back home from that last tour that we had this one with Texas Hippie Coalition. So it was like, oh shit. Like, we just went out here on our own, like playing these smaller shows and all this fun jazz. And then Texas Hippie tells us like, hey, you guys got it. And I'm like, oh shit, this is about to be real fun now. And we're really excited. They seem really pumped. We've talked to them a little bit, and because they're busy as hell. Like, they've been doing this whole leg the whole time. And I think we're going to mesh really well. I think we're going to get the party started for them because they seem like a really good time. I'm really excited, actually. I think we all are. We're so pumped. It's as rough as everything was of being that far away and the long hours of getting back. We're ready to be back on the road again for sure, especially with Texas Hippie Coalition because they're talented, they're badass, they seem like a lot of fun, and we're gonna have fun either way. Let's just put it that way.
Is the Barrel House Ballroom kind of like your hometown bar that you kind of localized in? I noticed you've had a couple of shows there. You got another show coming up May 2nd.
Yes, sir. We have May 2nd with BUCKCHERRY. We picked that up last week, which came out of nowhere. Barrelhouse Ballroom is actually really new. It's because of the pandemic, a lot of the other ones that we played at kind of got shut down. And then Barrelhouse Ballroom picked up, I think, last year. So we finally got a show there. And then I don't know what happened with BUCKCHERRY support or anything like that, which I'm not mad about by no means. And then we got reached out to. So it is now becoming that venue to be at, though, for sure. And so we were very happy to be on that card with BUCKCHERRY because I've been a fan for a long time. I've seen them a couple times. It's crazy we get to share the stage with them now. But yeah, I guess Barrelhouse Ballroom will be that local kind of place, especially where big bands come through until the new signal gets it fully open, for sure.
Whereas the songs on the new album have been around for a little bit, are you guys working on new music?
Oh yeah, we've got a couple of things that we've been working on. Now it's trying to find time and a committed lineup too. But which I think we solidified our drummer now. But right now we're working toward the BUCKCHERRY show, and then we're going on tour. So we have a little bit things that we're working on. But we're going to start writing here really soon. Probably right after we get off tour with Texas Hippie, we're going to kind of dive into a little bit more because new guides, a different writing process. I think it'll be fun though. We got some things in the works already though before he even joined, so should be good.
Excellent. Well, those are all the questions I have for you tonight, Drew. The new Seven Stones album is Hurt Turns Into Hate. It's out now. Fantastic album. I've been listening to it all week, and I wish you the best of luck in everything, and I hope you make your way up to the East Coast one of these days.
Hey, that's the plan, brother, man. Thank you so much, George.
Once again, I want to thank Drew Elliott of the band Seven Stones for coming on the Rock is George podcast. Be sure to check out their latest album, Hurt Turns Into Hate, out now. Head over to your favorite music streaming platform. Take a listen to the album. If you like what you hear, there's no physical copies yet, but buy a band t-shirt, go see the band live, support the artist. For all things Seven Stones, head over to their website, sevenstonesofficial.com. I also want to thank Barbara Papageorge of Pavement Entertainment for making this interview possible. You've been great. I've been George Dionne. Discover your next favorite artist on the Rock is George podcast.